Our guest, if you missed the first half hour, you missed a lot. But somebody here, you go in to get your haircut and you come out inspired. Grow, thrive, and inspire. We're going to talk all about it. There's a lot more to this than most people realize. Giddy up. Welcome back to the Your Little Castle show. We've got a guest here in studio that has already made an impact on me for sure with regard to going after it in life and saying, hey, it doesn't matter what hurdle. Some of the hurdles he's gone through, most people, going through some tough situations that most people don't go through, but you pulled through them and now you're out there not just providing for yourself and getting where you want to go in life, but you're helping other people as well. And you do it through a great means by you've got your own barbershop. It's one of the renowned here in the St. Louis area and well established and doing wonderful things, but inspiring people along the way as well. So with that, tell me, we'll go back to, I think a lot of people might, what's the mistake you make by not going to a professional like Tom to get your hair done and professionally manicured, put in place so that you look the best? It's more than that though. If you're looking to take it yourself to that next level, this is where you start and saying you need to make a change. Walk me down that path where you felt like that's something you bring to the table to help people with as well.
And so we were talking about frameworks for change, and I think one of the biggest challenges I've had to overcome was to learn the frameworks and how to put them in place to elicit real change in your life. Yeah.
So how often is it the case? Yeah, you're right. You got to position yourself. You've got to frame yourself. You've got to be in the frame where these things can happen. If you're trying to paint a painting, and what you got to paint is outside of the frame, it's not going to get done. You got to put yourself in a position to get there. You agree with that?
I do, and we already talked about mindset, and that's where it all starts. I think we lie to ourselves all too often when we tell ourselves we can't do anything, and we are the number one thing that prevents us from even starting the journey.
Yeah, and you've got such power you bring to people by making them look professional, getting them in the perspective to where they can have that confidence. How important is confidence for anyone to have for them to accomplish any goal they've set?
Confidence is the big thing. I worked with a life coach a couple years ago, and one of the big things that we dealt with was false identities, the things you take on when people tell you you can't do something, or you're not good enough, or your idea is a joke. You have to believe.
Yeah, kind of sounds like common sense when you say it like that, but a lot of people are like, believe in what? Believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. Your ability, your body responds. If you're not trained, you become just disconnected and you can't accomplish your goals.
Fear is human nature, and you have to embrace the fear. You have to step into the failure as well. It's the thing I can say is about social media. It's the same as social media. My first 10 social media videos were absolutely horrible, and the abuse I endured online. But it's like now I produce now my videos on average get 10,000 views, and we've got some videos up that got 100. So it was just perseverance. You have to fail. Failure is part of success. The average entrepreneur has launched 2.4 businesses. The average entrepreneur has been bankrupt more than once. So you're going to fail on the way to success, and you have to embrace that.
Hey, there's a key for you. Like, understand the fail. There's a lot of people, they don't talk about this because it's painful. But if you haven't failed, then you haven't learned. But that's where some of the best lessons are learned. Because, and I gave a speech not long ago. Tell me if you think this makes sense. But because I will make the attempt, I'll go out there and do it. I will do something 10 times before the more talented, smarter, more prepared person. I don't know if they're more prepared, but with the skills and abilities, but they've only tried it once. I know what the 9 things are that cause it to fail before I got to success on the 10th try.
Well, that's the principle. Hard work beats talent every time.
Every time. Write that one down. Hard work beats talent every time. Tom here is a testament to putting in the hard work and doing what it takes to get to that next level. With that, you've obviously had an impact here, and you've done a lot to make things happen in our little community here in St. Louis. But what do you like most about St. Louis?
What I like most about St. Louis, and everybody knows St. Louis gets a bad rap. And when I meet somebody that asks me something questionable about St. Louis, I tell them that every neighborhood I hang out in is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that goes on here. There is if you study the data with regard to how they say that our I didn't get into the numbers, but it's because they're taking a sampling from a smaller area because we haven't incorporated with the entire metro area. So when you include the whole metro area, which is where all the numbers normally come from for all the other cities you've done so, the ratio goes down and we're like number 940 or something instead of the top 3 or whatever the number would be. But make sure you're studying the data correctly, and then go to those neighborhoods. And we've got neighborhoods all over this city that are just across the board with all kinds of different cultures and styles and methods. But while you've got a wide variation, you can meet all kinds of different dynamic people in this city. You agree with that, Tom?
I do. Yeah, St. Louis is one of the most diverse places I've ever been. Let's see.
Yeah, diversity is ultimately what gives us the options for different approaches that we would not have learned otherwise. If you try it the same way every time, you're going to get the same result. But if you try a divergent plan, something different, diverge from that plan, and learn from somebody else's different perspective, you can really improve.
Or track what you're doing and make the minor adjustments. One small adjustment here is a mile down the road.
Great point. Yeah, how often people they just stick with the same strategy, the same plan, the same plan of attack over and over again, and they won't make any changes. But incremental, it's just small little changes. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? If you made 1 degree change a day in a year, you made 365 degree change. This is a method that people could improve themselves.
It's a cumulative effect. When I got out of prison in 2017, I told myself, no matter what decision I had to make, it was going to be the decision that required more work. And because of those decisions, because I have 5 years of making the hard decisions and doing the work, I also have the results from that.
There you go. Somebody who's willing to, after going through a difficult situation, anybody goes away for a little while. I've had a friend or two that I've known that, but sometimes they go down the path and don't recover. But you're saying you were bent to make a difference, no matter what it was going to take. You were ready to put in the work to make a difference.
Well, that's what Eunoia stands for. For me, it stands for transformation, and it's Greek for a well and balanced mind. But the path is the transformation, because I didn't come from that. The trajectory that I was on before this was a downward trajectory, and downward trajectories don't bottom out.
There you go. Downward trajectories, because it's going that way continually.
Yeah, they don't bottom out.
That's a good point. I hadn't heard right. Tom's got a few for us here, everybody, but they don't bottom out. They just keep going that way. Something has to cause them to change.
That's right.
And in your life, obviously, you hit a changing event, a significant event that made a change in your life, and you decided to go the other direction. And that's encouraging to see what you put together, how you did that. Tell me a time, though, when you feel like you were in a situation where you really helped somebody, either through your business, through giving them a great-looking makeover. These guys come out of there and looking great. Give me a time when you really helped somebody.
Yeah. I had a client about 1.5 years ago, and he was in a custody battle. He's an IT guy, does some contracting for Boeing, but he lost his job, and then he got cancer. And even when he couldn't afford his haircuts, I told him, I said, Joel, keep showing up, because that's what matters.
Yeah, because you were helping him stay, because once somebody gets down that path where they start to not care and not take care of themselves, they lose the confidence, and then it becomes another big ball of wax. It's a mess. But you helped him, and any idea where he's at these days? Has he come out of it?
Yeah, oh yeah. He's got his second job, and much like the motto, grow, thrive, inspire, Joel is, he's trying to develop a drone company.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So he's real techie then. If he's creating drones, everybody, we've got some real good connections here with some people that are high in the tech scale there. Well, tell me then, obviously there's a number of challenges, some big challenges you went through, but give us a little bit of the detail about what it was that you think made that switch to where you decided this challenge was going to make you stronger, not destroy you.
I hit a point where I realized that my life was on a downward trajectory, and that wasn't going to change unless I did something about it. And for me, and I think for a lot of people that make those changes, sometimes it comes at a point where we're in so much pain that we have no other choice.
There you go. So ultimately, if you don't make a change, then nothing is going to change. And you decided, enough of this. I'm going to make it, and I'm going to go off and turn it around. And after going through what you went through, a traumatic situation, it did impact some other people, and they said, you've got to go pay for your crimes a little
That's
bit.
right.
And he said, hey, you will, and with that you came and turned it around, and now you inspire other people. That's really exciting to see a lot of the work that you put together to help others. On your path to going through this, was there ever a time when you felt like you might want to give up, but you didn't?
There were a lot of times when I wanted to give up. That salon that I bought, I bought a failing salon and we struggled for 14 months and eventually had to close. And there was a point in time when I was going to throw the Bible out the window. But my preacher told me, he said, Tom, God's right there for you. And he wants something greater for you than what you have right now. And I had to start walking and acting on that principle.
Okay, yeah. So there's a time in everyone's life where they have those challenges, and when you want myself, and you might want to give up. It's a lot to go through something like this, and especially when you've got a business that's not making it, you can't pay the bills, and you're saying, somebody, you've heard the story where the God, why when in my most difficult times in my life do I only see one set of footprints? And that's the times when God was carrying you. Have you heard that one?
Yep.
And you felt that yourself?
Firm believer in that one. Yep, firm believer in that one.
There we go. So much more we have in life that we don't realize what we're capable of. But I think you're a great testament to somebody who said, I'm going to go after it. I'm going to get there no matter. I like what you talked about earlier. I'm going to hit on this one more time. But talent versus hard work. Hard work is going to beat that every time. Why do you think that is so true in our culture today?
I don't know why it's true in our culture today. Let's see. Hard work beats talent every time because those who are willing to put in the investment. It's like Michael Jordan not only had talent, he was the guy that was willing to practice after the game, before the game, and put in more practice than anybody else.
Yeah, they talked about Jordan would spend an hour after everybody else went home after practice and continue to shoot and continue to improve. I know the same is true of Albert Pujols. I had some friends that he grew up in this, or spent a lot of time in the Kansas City area, over in Kansas side of Missouri, Kansas City side of Missouri, and they said he would be in the batting cage every day. This is the effort. These are the things that set people apart. You've put that time in yourself to put in some extra effort to get to the next level.
I think talent can convince us we're good, whereas the constant strive for improvement can lead to greatness.
I got another one here, everybody. Write that one down. Talent can lead us to think we're good, but the constant effort makes you...
constant effort can lead to greatness.
Lead to greatness. Now we're really getting into it, everybody. Well, with that, we've got some more fun in our community. We've got a lot of leaders that we'd like to... If you know anybody that deserves to be highlighted, especially any organizations, charities, or business leaders, have them get a hold of us here, and we'll talk to them and maybe put them on TV sometime to share their message. Tom is taking the time to do this, sit down for an hour. We appreciate you coming in to do this. With that, let's go out to some of our community work, and we'll be back here in just a minute. Hey everybody, guess what? We get to have fun all the time at the Cardinal games. Before the game, we get to hang out with fun super fans. Say hello to my buddy Nino over here, Brett, Tanya, and Dixie. That's right. Everybody's in the video here. Family coming out to the game. Nino, what do you love about going to Cardinal games?
Do you love baseball?
Yeah. He loves baseball. Hey, all right. Scoring points with the Cardinal Cowboy.
Yeah, he plays Miracle League baseball.
Do you really?
And he likes to be on the Cardinals team at home.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know how many times have you been on that team? How many times have you done that?
A lot.
That's a good answer. All right. Dad, what's it like coming to the Cardinal games with your son and your wife and all the fun you get to have down here?
Oh, it's the most fun. I mean, we've been coming since Old Bush. You know, now we've got New Bush Stadium. It's the best baseball town, and it's the most fun. You know, it's fun before the game. The games are always great, and we love it.
Well, I appreciate you guys taking time here. We're at Patios, everybody. This is where the most fun is. I get to wear the full outfit here. I got the pants, the socks, the arch, Nino, Brett, Tanya, and Dixie all here, and we're outside Patios having fun. Hey, say hi to Patios. Stop on by here before a Cardinal game, and we'll see you guys soon. Nino, give me some knuckles. There we go. Go Cardinals. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rathwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwish was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. By now, we are on ABC 5 times a week. So many businesses are loving what we're doing to help them get their name out there. We'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. Takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there's no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Professional video on your website closes more sales by instantly building trust, clearly explaining complex products, and keeping visitors engaged longer, reducing bounce rate by 34%. It'll help you to gain that credibility, increase engagement, simplify complex tasks, lower your sales friction, and boost your rankings on the search engine. So this is all kind of a no-brainer. See how we've now had over 500 interviews and now almost 250 different business owners. Go to bigleagues.com. That's bigleagues.com. Go to bigleagues.com and get signed up. You can schedule right from there.
All right, how has technology changed?
So here we are, everybody. How has technology changed the way our world functions? Well, in every way. But yours truly wrote the foreword here. They say, Cardi, you wrote the first chapter. Magnetize your media. Pick this book if you'd like. And you can see they made me put my mug in there. But how important is it for us to keep up on our technology these days? Because technology impacts everything. I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of websites. Tom has done, and you did your website yourself. That's impressive.
So we did design the website ourselves. We had somebody else build it, but the interesting thing that I'm stepping into just next week is I'm teaching a master class for anybody in the salon industry. So if you cut hair, if you do nails, if you do massages, if you do facials, you can fill out my Google form, send the answers to me. I put them with a ChatGPT prompt that I've engineered, and we put that into an AI website builder, and it builds the website immediately according to some of the best marketing practices in the world.
There we go. Somebody on the cutting edge of the technology end of this too, because yeah, AI, man, now you can just tell it to do certain things, speak into it, type in a few commands, and I do these analysis tools that give a cost, convert one more person per day because they saw your video versus not, the ROI, the conversion, the revenue, and multiply. This whole thing came out in 30 minutes or 5 minutes, and where I just spent 6 months developing something like that in the past. Okay. Well, technology. How else has technology affected what you do? Social media is a big thing. Obviously, you've got following going there. And
social media is a big thing, but the thing I really want to talk about is we all know what SEO is. That's search engine optimization.
Yes.
But not a lot of us know what AIEO is, and that's artificial intelligence engine optimization,
Yeah.
where you optimize your business to be suggested to people through Claude, ChatGPT, and that's been a part of my marketing plan. The book Guerrilla Marketing taught me that a marketing plan is anything you can plug into your business as a source of clients. I thought it was going to tell me what to go do. It didn't. But over the last year, our goal was to get ChatGPT and Claude to refer to me as one of the top barbers in St. Louis. And I get clients weekly. I had a guy come in last week and he says, I was talking to Claude and he says, we went down the list of barbers and you turned out to be the appropriate barber for me, according to AI.
That's the point. Yes, if you're on the ball there's so much, and it's about putting the right content out there to make sure you've got AI pulling up the information relative to what people want. Because now it feeds it all to us instead of us having to go through and click and link and go down and go through each one of the search results. And now you can literally just have it dictate back to you on here's the expert and here's somebody that can do this that's well reputed in your town. And so it's neat to see that you've taken advantage of that. That's some high tech stuff you're getting into.
It is.
Very cool. What are some of the mistakes that you've seen other companies make in this space with regard to taking care of men's hair, a little bit of men's, overall?
I'm like every other small business owner. We're passionate about something. We're not digital marketers. We're barbers. We're butchers. We're baseball players. Or I think the mistake that I see a lot of business owners make is they don't run any form of an active marketing plan. And that can be as simple as going to your Google business listing once a week and just making a post about your business. Because when you're active on your Google business listing, Google's algorithm sees that. So even though I've only got 67 reviews, it's going to show me over the guys that have 100 because I'm putting up pictures and updates weekly.
Yeah, so people want to see consistent content that's current because that means you're active, that means you're involved, that means you're in, doing the things to partake in saying, hey, we're doing what to show that we've got some activity going on here. And so many businesses these days, they just throw it up once 6 years ago and they wonder why it isn't grown, and it's because they're not taking the time to actually engage in what these AI and search engines will now do. And your Google profile, 67 reviews is actually not bad, especially if you were a big company that had thousands of people coming in a week. That would, but given what you've done and you've put a lot of time and energy in that and made it look great. And technology has so much to do with that, and the other mistakes that people make. Other businesses, they don't pay attention to these things, and it really costs them down the road. Tell me the process. Somebody wants to hire you. They say, I want to get my haircut. I want to get my makeover done by Tom. Give me a little bit of the process. We'll show here everybody up on the website a little bit what you do.
Go to TikTok or Instagram and search for St. Louis Barber. Go to ChatGPT and search for the best barber in St. Louis, or go to my website, eunoiabarber.pro.
And here it is. So let's pull that up on the screen here. And so, yeah, all of those will probably point to what you see here. But Tom has done a great job to make all the engines and the social media resources pull things up. So if you click here on schedule, it'll open a tab. There it is. We've got that tab available here. And you can see, I like what you've organized here because now people can select the service and they've got the options here. And then who does this work on them? And they can then pick a time and say, hey, here's when I'm available. Here's when Tom's available. You're booked out of here. It looks like you've only got a few days left in April to come in. You become a busy guy here with all your technology and your resources. It's worked well for you. Is that true?
It has. Yeah, and it's become a system.
Yeah, develop a system. There we go. And somebody here has done it. Wow, impressive stuff, and a great looking website that you put there along with it too. I'll scroll down here a little bit. I'm going to show you guys a little bit more. Here's the first page, and there you get to meet Tom, and you can see some of those reviews. They're embedded from your Google. Good job with that. And some of your work, you got there some examples. But there's more to your website than just the front page. You can learn a little bit about the company. You can learn about Tom's mission. And boy, how many people we don't have a mission because they don't understand what they're trying to do to impact our little planet. And then how it works, and the upcoming podcast, some community stuff, the products you've got, and boy, when you really get down to it, you've got your blog, and then there's the A-list. So it looks like you've obviously spent quite a bit of time putting this together and a lot of energy, but that's what pays the bills, right? This is where people, they want to find out what you stand for, what you're about, and impact our community. What would you say is one of the biggest questions somebody has before they decide to come in and use your services? Get to know the barber they're going to have. Somebody's going to decide whether help them to look good. What's the biggest question you get from people?
The biggest question I get from people is, people are looking for someone who's concerned with what your goals are and someone who will stay on track with what those goals are. And so that's my process from start to finish. I make sure at the beginning of the haircut that I'm on the same page with what you want, and I check through. I check back with you throughout the service, and we do adjustments at the end.
There you go. So it's a continually upgrading and improving process that Tom has developed here, and make sure that. And I won't name any names of any companies, but I just know that. Are you coming in? Do you want the same thing? Okay, sit down, crank it out. And sometimes there's room for improvement. There's some adjustments we might want to make. Some ways we can build a little more confidence, make ourselves look a little better, and we all could use a little boost like that from time to time. Tom takes that as part of your process. It sounds like that.
And the next part of my process when you come back to my chair is to ask you how I can do it better.
Okay. How can we improve upon what we did last time? Not just can we do what we did last time. Let's improve upon it. Well said. What gives you the most satisfaction ultimately for what you do here? Obviously, you're impacting people more than just some basic needs. You're helping them to get through and improve their lives.
What gives me the most satisfaction? What gives me the most satisfaction is being able to rise to a position where I can influence others with positivity.
There you go. And how often do we get the case where we don't spend the time focusing on where we want to go? We've talked about that. Boy, this is a great interview. If you missed the first one, everybody, they're both recorded. Sometime they likely air on ABC, but if you miss them there, you can always watch them out on our YouTube channel, because our leaders in our community, we put those out there for people to see whenever they want to, because they may not be available at the time slot we have on ABC. We're on now 5 times a week, but at any time they can go to our YouTube channel, go to yourlittlecastle.com, click the link, and do I have that up here? There it is, Your Little Castle Show. You search for that, you'll see it, and then you can find great influential leaders like Tom in our community, making a difference, helping people, and doing things to inspire and enlighten many of us. How do you feel? We got about a minute left here. How do you feel you best contribute to our community here?
The core principle that I work with is that you have to uplift everything. You have to positively influence the culture where you're at. You have to positively lift other people up, and that's just a foundational principle.
Foundational principle. Tom's using these big words on us. I like that. Foundational, man. That's an important one. Trajectory. Hey, some important things here Tom's talking about. But it's so true that if you're not uplifting other people, then what are you doing? Right, if you're here to promote yourself, great, good for you, and maybe that'll work for you. But I found that if you help other people, I think as Jen Rohn said, you can get whatever you want as long as you help as many other people as you possibly can. The more people you help, the more you ensure the fact that your own success. And it looks like you've adopted a philosophy that's worked for you. A big turnaround in your life, too, that's led you to where you're at. There you have it, everybody. Give it up for Tom Rector. He's in the Your Little Castle studio sharing some of his life experiences, trade secrets, and methods. Get a hold of him. Go to eunoiabarber.pro and barber.pro. Stay tuned. This is the Your Little Castle Show.